Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're unpacking some really unique sources you've shared with us. We're exploring an existential crisis, but maybe not one you'd expect. It's about a Persian cat named Mrs. Meow. Yeah, we're diving deep into these fascinating bits from The Cat Who Read Nietzsche, an existential feline journey. Our mission really is to unpack Ms. Meow's, well, her journey, understand the big questions she faced, and maybe see what her philosophical awakening can teach us about our own search for meaning.
It's pretty remarkable, isn't it, how this seemingly whimsical story about a cat, it functions almost like a parable, for a really deeply human struggle.
Mhm.
It kind of forces us to look at the absurd, maybe like chemists would say, and think about how meaning can pop up even when things feel totally disorienting.
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit. You've got Miss Meow living this apparently perfect, serene cat life, lounging on a windowsill, eyes half closed, tail doing that lazy flick thing, just, a normal day. And then comes this moment. A carefree little sparrow lands nearby, starts singing, and the source says right from that moment, nothing was ever the same.
Just like that. A huge shift in how she saw everything.
Right. And that small thing, just watching a bird, it really echoes how philosophy sometimes starts, doesn't it? Some, well, seemingly everyday event just shatters your whole comfortable view of the world, makes you rethink everything. For Mrs. Meow, maybe that sparrow was like a mirror, reflecting some kind of freedom or purpose she suddenly felt she was, lacking. And the change was fast. The symptoms hit hard. She started turning her nose up at her favorite tuna. With a sigh, it says. Her cardboard box, the one cats love. Her sacred cardboard box suddenly looked meaningless to her. Can you picture that? She even, get this, batted her yarn ball into the wall and groaned, "What does any of this mean? Why am I even here?" Wow. And her first therapy session, just quiet. Her eyes saying it all. "Doctor, I'm not who I used to be."
Those behaviors, they really connect with, well, classic signs of searching for purpose, don't they? Even in a cat. That sort of nausea the existentialist talked about, this profound unease when the meaning drains out of your routine, the tuna loses its inherent value, just like people feel alienated from things they used to enjoy. And that line, "Doctor, I'm not who I used to be." Simple, but wow. It's that universal cry when you feel like you've lost yourself.
And talking about feeling lost, her next move was, well, pretty strange. Trying to find some answers. The second therapy session, the doctor finds Mrs. Meow gnawing on the cover of Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Seriously, trying to chew her way into philosophical enlightenment. Now that's a dedication to the source material.
Right. And Zarathustra, that's not exactly light reading. Nietzsche challenges, well, everything, traditional values, meaning he pushes you to forge your own path, become that Ubermensch, the overcoming self. So for Miss Meow to be literally chewing on it, she's grappling physically almost with whether her purpose is just there or if she has to, create it. It's funny, sure, but it's also kind of profound. What weird things do we do when our whole world feels shaky?
So to help her through this, they bring in a specialist, Professor Hoo Hoo, described as a philosopher owl. Get this. Decades of experience treating nihilistic squirrels. You can't make this stuff up.
An expert in animal ennui, apparently.
Right, so the owl and the cat, they start these philosophical circles on the balcony. Professor Hoo Hoo, with his raspy voice, talking about the essence of flying without wings. And Ms. Meow is just staring at the sky, whispering, "Am I the bird, or is the bird me?"
Flying without wings. That phrase really hits at that longing for, well, transcendence, doesn't it? It's about breaking free from what you think are your limits. A really common theme in these quests for freedom. Miss Meow is basically asking, can I get beyond just being a cat? Can I experience that sort of unburdened life she sees in the sparrow? It's a deep question about identity, and maybe wanting to shed what feels like a confining nature.
And just when these balcony talks seem super deep, there's an interruption. Another cat, a neighbor's cat, just wanders in and declares, totally out of the blue, "I don't care about the neighbor's chicken."
Okay.
And Ms. Meow's ears just perk right up. She leans in, asks, "Where did you come from?" And that apparently sparked a 20-minute group chat about whether the neighbor's chicken actually matters. Or, get this, if we're all just chickens dreaming we're cats.
Oh, wow. That's brilliant in a way. The irony, this totally random comment about a chicken, completely mundane, and it just blows up their whole intellectual discussion. It shows how some new perspective, even if it seems trivial, can just flip your whole reality tunnel upside down, makes you question what's actually important. Or if anything is, maybe their whole deep conversation about birds and identity. Maybe that's just another layer of the dream, too.
So where do you go from there? After the chicken comment rocks your world,
Yeah.
they tried something more hands-on, a practical session.
Right. Let Ms. Meow outside to actually speak with a real sparrow.
Okay, the moment of truth.
Well, the result was surprising, but the source calls it a very authentic existential response. She tried to eat the bird instead. Huh. Right, so that primal instinct kicks in. It seems like it goes against the whole philosophical quest, right? Transcending her nature. But you could see it as maybe a really raw, honest moment, engaging with who she actually is, her inherent catness. It's almost like returning to herself. Despite all the thinking, the fundamental nature asserts itself. It suggests maybe that real meaning isn't always about becoming something else. Sometimes it's about, well, embracing who you are, even the surprising bits.
So where does that leave Miss Meow now? What's the current stage? Her treatment now involves feline meditation, listening to sounds like dripping faucets, sitting quietly on cold tiles, breathing slowly. Very zen.
Finding stillness, perhaps.
Seems like it. And she shared something really quite profound recently. She told her doctor, maybe I'm not a lion, but I can still nap on the radiator. And that, doctor, is a kind of bravery.
Wow, that's actually a really powerful place to land. Maybe I'm not a lion, but I can still nap on the radiator.
That really speaks to self-acceptance, doesn't it? Finding meaning not in some huge, grand ideal like being a lion, but in the simple, everyday things that make up your specific life. Napping on a radiator. It's recognizing that heroism or bravery isn't just for the big roaring types, it's also in the quiet stuff. Just consistently being true to yourself. Finding contentment right there. And being a cat who naps on radiators, that's bravery too.
What a journey, huh? From that sparrow triggering this huge crisis, through all the philosophy, the owl, the chicken detour, to finally finding this, nuanced understanding of her own place, her own kind of bravery. This story, pulled right from the sources you gave us, it's a great shortcut, really, to seeing how deep insights can pop up in the most unexpected ways. So, thinking about all this, what does Mrs. Meow's path mean for you, listening? Consider her whole arc. The crisis, the searching, and finding peace in napping. Yeah, and it leaves us with a pretty potent question, I think. How often do we miss the bravery in our own small, everyday acts? The things that seem mundane, like Miss Meow on her radiator. What quiet acts of courage might you be doing every single day without even noticing?
That's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into, well, existential cats and the hunt for meaning.